If 2026 is going to be the year where everything starts to change for us financially, then we're going to have to change some of the habits that have got us into the position that we're into right now. Now, I'm not talking about making extreme changes. We're just going to address the small habits that happen every single day that keep us stuck financially. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 7 changes that we can make to the habits that have held us back financially in the past that we are now going to address going into the future. Habit number 1 is we're gonna stop treating our raise like it's a promotion or it's just new money that we're getting in our paychecks. So this is the time of year where companies are starting to evaluate your performance over the past year and determining whether or not you're gonna get a raise moving into the new year. And what we're gonna stop doing is we're gonna stop using that money that we get in our raise. We're just gonna pretend that we never got it, and we're gonna continue to live on the same amount of money that we made the year prior. See, I fell into these traps so long ago. I would get a raise at the beginning of the year and I wanted to go out and I wanted to buy something, whether that was a new car or maybe I booked a nicer vacation than I did the year before. But starting in 2026, we're changing these small habits. So if we were living off a certain amount of money prior to getting that raise, we're gonna challenge ourselves to live on the same amount for the following year. This doesn't seem like it'll make that big of an impact, but trust me, it will, especially when you start to stack this habit year over year. So think 3, 4, 5 years down the road and you haven't increased your lifestyle to match how much money you're making now, it really starts to add up. So when spring rolls around and you get that new raise and you get a tax return, don't go out and buy a new car. Don't do that, because then you're gonna put yourself in the same position that you've been prior to 2026. And we know that's not working. That's not working for us. So we're gonna try a different approach here and we're gonna break that very first habit, which is not using your raise like it's a promotion or just new money that you're getting every single year. The second habit that we're gonna break starting in the new year is we're gonna stop pretending that spending a little bit of money doesn't add up over a long period of time. So I was talking to my son this morning and he mentioned that he went to the store and he bought something and it was, I think he said $15 or $20, right? And I said, well, why did you spend that? Like, did you need that? And he said, Dad, it was only $20. How many times have you heard someone say, or have you said, it was only $10, it was only $15? And I laughed and I told him it's not so much going out and spending the $20, especially if you work and you want to go buy something, that's completely fine. But if you think about how many times either you say or you hear someone say, that was only $10, that was only $20, over the course of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of it was only $20, that adds up to a much larger amount than you think of. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like little paper cuts. And before you realize it, you spent $500, $600, $700 on a bunch of junk and you just don't know because you're spending it in such small chunks. So no, I'm not saying you can't go out and go buy things. Definitely not saying that, but what I am saying is just be mindful of it was just $5, it was just $10, because that does add up over a long period of time. The third habit that we're gonna break moving into the new year is waiting for the perfect time to invest. I'm starting a brand new $5 a day investment challenge starting on January 1st of 2026. I'll make sure to link the videos of my updates of my $5 a day investment journey over the last 2 years. If you've been thinking about investing and you haven't figured out when or how is the right time to get in, make sure you check out some of those videos and jump into that challenge. From my perspective, there's no perfect time to start investing. See, you need to start investing as soon as possible because that's going to give you the longest amount of time to make sure that you can build your portfolios up over a 20, 30, 40, 50 year time frame. That's whenever you can actually start to see the benefits of staying consistent with your investing and making sure that you're prioritizing your financial future. See, when we're younger, we think that we have all the time in the world. And then just like that, time moves and you're 40 years old and you're starting to think about your future. And sometimes you think that it's too late. Now, I've had a lot of people that have reached out to me and they've mentioned, hey, I'm in my 40s or I'm in my 50s and I haven't started investing. When should I get in? When is the right time to get in? The time to get in is right now. The fourth habit that we're gonna be breaking starting in the new year is we're gonna stop supplementing our income with credit cards. This is the biggest habit that most people have, and it's going to be the hardest one to break. See, we have this mentality of, if I don't have enough money to buy it, I can just use a credit card, and guess what? I'll just pay that back over time. And then what happens is we don't pay that back on time. We let it slide. Then we get into this constant hamster wheel of charging things on a credit card, saying that we'll pay it back, and then we never do, and then we ultimately end up with $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 worth of credit card debt. That's how it happens. I'm not judging you because, again, that's happened to me, and I've talked about that a lot on my channel. But one of the things that we're going to start doing moving forward is we are going to put away the credit cards, and we're not going to use them unless we're responsible. If you're a responsible person, you can use a credit card and pay it off every single month. Back in the day, I was not responsible. I was using my credit card. I had a credit card debt. I wasn't paying it off. I was paying the monthly minimums, and I was never going to be able to get out of credit card debt. We're going to change that habit starting in 2026, and we're no longer going to use credit cards until we're responsible enough to use them and pay them off every single month in full. No excuses. And if we can't do that, then we just no longer use them. Last point on credit cards. One of the reasons why a lot of people go out and they swipe their credit card for things that they can't afford at that time is because we have this impulse to buy things. One of the things I want you to try is when you have an urge to buy something, wait 24 or 48 hours and then come back to that and see if you still have that same urge and that same desire to make that purchase. That's one of the things that I started to do in my late 20s and my early 30s that really helped me to stop charging so much on my credit card, especially when I was in that era of trying to pay it off. I didn't want to continue to add to it as I was trying to pay it off because it was just counterintuitive. Just wouldn't work. So if you have an issue with impulse buying, try that out, see if that works out for you. The fifth habit that we're changing is we're going to know our numbers moving forward. We're never going to be in a situation to where we don't know on a monthly basis how much is going in versus how much is going out. Those days are over. And this is going to help us to stay on track, right? We're going to have that budget in place. We're going to make sure we know exactly where every dollar is going every single month. And we're going to be obsessive about it, especially in the beginning. Don't let any outside factors try to discourage you from taking this step. You have to be laser focused on understanding what your numbers are. And you're likely going to have some people that you know that may make comments about, hey man, you only live once, you got to do yada yada. Don't listen. Know your numbers and know what it means for you and how that's going to impact you on a month-to-month basis. Now, the other set of numbers that we're going to start making sure that we understand is our 401k. See, a lot of us invest in a corporate sponsored 401k and we have no idea what the parameters are, what the guidelines are, what it actually cost us to participate in that company 401k. We're going to understand that. Now, I may make a future video on this, kind of understanding what's in the 401k, kind of look under the hood. If that would be something that you guys would be interested in, drop a comment and let me know. The sixth habit that we're breaking heading into the new year is we're going to stop comparing ourselves to other people on social media. I've said this in the past and I'll say it again. Most people on social media are lying to you. They're not living these lavish lifestyles that they claim to live. Everybody's not making $100,000+ a year. It's cap. It's not true. It's a lie. You can look at the numbers. The U.S. jobs and data statistics numbers are posted every single year, and it tells you what the average salary is for people in the United States. So one of the biggest habits that we're going to break is we're going to stop going on places like Instagram and TikTok and even sometimes on YouTube where people are talking about how easy it is to make $100,000 a year, how easy it is to make $250,000 a year, how easy it is to do all of these things that the average person can't do. We're not going to listen to that anymore because it's not true. Let's just say for a moment that it was true, even though it's not. Let's just say that all these people on social media are telling you the truth and it's so easy to make $100,000 to $200,000 a year, but you don't make that right now. So if that's the case, make sure that you stay in your lane and you live the lifestyle that you can afford comfortably, right? That works for you. So we're going to make sure that we're no longer being influenced by the people on social media that are telling us how easy life is and how easy it is to make so much money. We're just going to start tuning that out because we know that's not true. It's just not. The seventh habit that we're going to be changing moving into 2026 and beyond is we're going to stop thinking that we're just bad with money. Now, it may be true that we've got some blind spots and we don't know what we don't know. So, but that doesn't mean that you're bad at something. It just means that you don't know. So moving forward, we're going to start educating ourselves on money, and we don't have to spend a lot of time doing this, right? We could start out with these habits that we're talking about in today's video, and then we could go from there. See, it's all about learning. It's all about trying to figure out what works for you and putting in a plan that specifically is going to work for you. But one of the things that's consistent and constant for most people, and when I say most people, we're talking 90%, 95% of people, is that you have to have structure around your finances or things are gonna get out of whack and they're gonna go crazy. All right, so what do you guys think about the 7 habits that I mentioned in today's video that we're gonna be focusing on changing starting in the new year? I wanna get your feedback on it. Did I miss anything or some things that I mentioned that you're having an issue with? And what are your plans to address those?